Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Vultures with me, Alan Thomson. And today I'm joined by a very special guest, Mr. Tom Urie. Woo!
All right.
There we go.
How's it going?
All right, yourself?
I'm all right, aye.
So today we're in here to talk about biscuits.
Yeah, I mean, you asked me to talk about something that was important, and I looked at the world and I thought, I need to just talk about biscuits because I can't get involved.
Yeah.
See, if I start talking about what's going on in the world, I'll no stop. So I just thought biscuits are a universal joy.
Totally.
And
Aye.
can be quite controversial.
Well, that's what we're talking about as well, because we've obviously went out and we've bought our own biscuits, and I've brought Jaffa cakes. And
Yeah.
that's a bit contentious with people.
I don't know why people get so upset about it because it's definitely a biscuit.
100%.
And it's context.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a Jaffa cake on a plate of cakes. You have it on a plate of biscuits.
Yeah.
And it's good biscuits. It's for when the minister's coming around.
And if somebody offered you, I've got a cake in there, do you want it? And somebody brought out a Jaffa
I'd
cake.
be raging.
Aye, you'd clout them over the head with it.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely
that's
raging.
good, then we're off to a good start.
Yep, good.
Aye. So, what is your favourite biscuit currently?
Well, I've had a real think about this and I've done my top 5.
Top 5.
But this is of all time. Right?
Yep.
So this is taken into account. I was born in 1969, right? So this is taken into account
Nice.
the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the noughties, the whatever the fuck
Aye.
the things
Right,
were
right.
called, and the new, the 20s.
The teenies and the 20s.
One of my all-time biscuits doesn't exist anymore,
Same
and that was
here.
the Trio.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the Trio?
I do. I don't think I've ever had one, but I remember the...
If you went to somebody's house and they had Trios, it meant their parents were posh.
Right. Did they
So-
also have like a separate fridge for their cans of juice? That's when you know they're posh, if they got a fridge in their garage.
I bet they used to have Alpine ginger for the lorry. You're too young for that. What age
Aye.
are you?
30.
No. There used to be this lorry that came round the streets and it had weird juice, right? So it didn't just have cola and lemonade and orange and stuff. It used to have things like pineapple-aid
Oh, right,
and
aye.
strawberry-aid and everything. And you were never allowed to get it because your mum had bought in the cheap
Right,
stuff.
yeah.
But if you went to a house and they had Alpine, they were minted, and Trios. They were just minted, you know.
See, I mean, you could get different things at my ice cream van, but the guy no longer does it anymore and he's in jail. But I'll
Right.
just leave that to your imagination.
Oh,
You could get ours. But I think that's kind of well known, in fact, isn't it? I know the ice cream wars and stuff. I don't know why we're talking about that.
I don't know
No.
why, because maybe we shouldn't. I just watched Comfort and Joy again last week. If you've never seen that, it's a good film.
Right, I will not put a price on it.
No, we're not, no.
Right, so go 5.
Right, well, okay, right. So I'm an autistic adult, right? So you can't just ask me what's your favourite biscuit. I have to do a countdown.
No,
you know, and it
that's
has to be
100%.
specific. So coming in at number 5, right? Mm-hmm. And I think this is a universally adored biscuit. It is the Jammy Dodger.
Can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong with it because, for a start, it's got fruit in it, so it's one of your 5 a day.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
Healthy option.
Are you going to try one for me?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think I've had a Jammy Dodger before, but I'll definitely try one.
Just to kind of look wine tasting, just to have
right.
a real think about it. Here you go. Right. So look at the.
We're doing wine tasting.
No, but look at the thought that's went into that. Look, it's a heart shaped.
Yep.
You know, and there's something going on. There must be some sort of history behind that pattern. And it says JD on it.
Aye, who is JD?
Jammy
Dodger.
Uh-huh.
Oh, see, that was...
Right, so, you ready?
I'm ready.
Right. So you got the crunch, right?
We've got a spit bucket.
Fuck off, you're not wasting a good biscuit. You get the crunch, right? Mm-hmm. And then you've got the jam to look forward to. So some sadists might eat round the jam bit and then save the whole jam like a jam eckie for the middle bit to get a real hit from it.
Aye.
And these are dunkable as well, but it depends what you're dunking it in, because if it's tea, jam and tea doesn't really go.
No.
But it's fine with coffee.
Very true. Right.
Right.
So what... Like, see when you're... I'm only having half of this, by the way, because if you've got 5, but... I think it's even money that one of your fit is going to fall off during this. But, like... How... Because there are people, as you say, that eat runhings and shave bits off and then have a biscuit. You just get the biscuit in
Well,
Go out
it
the road.
depends. If there's a lot of biscuits there, I will experiment, and I will do some kind of exploration and
Right.
a bit of teasing myself with it, right? But if it's just a biscuit and I'm desperate for a biscuit, it gets hurled right in.
Who'd right in that? That's the way I go about things. I'm only having half of this though. I don't know what I mean. It's obvious that don't usually just have half a biscuit, but
Well, me neither.
Why? We're on film, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a bit.
No, what about her suit?
Aye, get the beard and stuff like
You
that.
ready for number 4?
Number 4. Let's
Right.
go.
So number 4 was sort of very much a luxury biscuit when I was a kid.
Right.
And there was always a fight in the house as to who got what version of it.
Right.
Because it came in fruit, orange, and mint, and plain.
Right. I think you've given it away there. Club.
Now, these are about a tenth of the size as they used to be.
I was going to say that.
Either that or I'm 10 times bigger than I used to be. But these are... you feel as if... Right, so here you go, right?
That is very small.
So it is very small, isn't it? I mean, they're not... That is... If the tagline used to be, if you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, join our club, right?
Perfect.
Fucking no chocolate been anywhere near this. Look, right, so it used to be... You used to have to kind of work to eat a club. It was a bit of, it was like celery. You used more calories eating it than you... and so, but... No. But the good thing about a mint club is it's got a cleansing quality to it. Mm-hmm. And with a bit of mint in it. Very cleansing.
So it's like in between courses. Then you would serve a club just to cleanse
To cleanse your palate
Yeah.
in between biscuit courses. Yeah. But it is posh enough to be put out for when the minister's coming around, right?
Yeah.
So you can put it on a plate with jammy Dodgers and your mother used... I don't know if this happened when you were a kid, but the height of sophistication in the 70s was opening a tin of salmon and making salmon sandwiches.
All right.
That was if there was somebody really posh coming round the salmon sandwiches. It was a tin of salmon.
All right.
I don't even know if that still happens.
No.
No. But the big light went on in a tin of salmon. So I'm gonna put this down there as well, just in case we end up in a coma.
I think
That's number 4, right?
Carry duty here.
Number 3. Now, I think this is the definitive biscuit. And if I was making a list of definitive biscuits, this would be number 1. But it's my favourite biscuits, right? So I think this is a very dynamic, versatile biscuit that can be produced in any situation. So whether it be just a bunch of your mates, if you've got the munchies, you can sit with a bag of them on your own. But if somebody posh comes around, it's not going to disgrace you. And that is the custard cream.
Oh yeah.
I don't know anybody that doesn't like these.
No, that's very true.
But the other thing about custard creams is it's like fucking Fort Knox trying to open the packet. As you'll see, look, what's going on there? So they put this handy, it says tear here, right? So, no, there's no sense. You end up just doing this.
Take it in the middle. Just like a strongman competition.
And now we've got custard cream dust.
Yeah.
So, you know what custard cream tastes like, eh?
Yeah.
So I don't really want to destroy this guy's studio.
No, I wouldn't.
So I'll put them there.
Aye.
That's number 3. Right? Any clues as to what the top 2 might be?
Is it related to a custard cream by any chance?
No.
No, so it's not a bourbon then.
Oh, no, I wouldn't thank you for a bourbon.
No?
No.
I
Have you heard the rumour about penguins?
No. Well,
That if you microwave a penguin and melt the chocolate off, it's a bourbon biscuit and it says bourbon on it.
I can't say bourbon on it.
It
There's
does.
no
You just get bourbon biscuits and put chocolate on them and call them penguins.
See when you...
This might be a TikTok thing that I've fallen for.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about how it tastes, then it makes sense.
It does make sense.
It is a bit like a...
If only we had a penguin in a microwave. That's when I come back.
Aye, that's part
At
2.
number 2, I think this is a real classic, and it is the plain chocolate digestive.
Is that dark chocolate?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What do you mean, no?
No. Dark
Really?
chocolate, it's too...
No. It's not your wanky 70% dark chocolate that they've dug straight out the ground and put in a biscuit. This is like 1970s dark chocolate.
Synthetic dark chocolate. coloured in.
I'd want you to try
I'll
it.
need to try it then,
Right.
yeah.
It's the same kind of dark chocolate you get on a dark chocolate bounty.
Right.
The red bounties. Right, so you try one of these.
Yeah, I don't actually think I've ever had one of these because I've always been put off with dark chocolate, but we'll have a go.
I mean, it edged it.
It's not as intense as like a Bourneville type
That's
thing.
true. It's got a wee edge to it. So, and you can, if you've got loads of them, you can make a sandwich by putting two of them together. And if you're a real expert at Dunkin', you can put the two of them together. What the fuck are we talking about?
I'm up for it.
Right. Number one. This is the pièce de résistance of biscuits, as far as I'm concerned. Now, some people would argue it's not a biscuit, it's a sweetie. Right?
Right.
But I think this is, especially if it's been in the fridge,
And this is number one.
number one. And it's got to be the 4-finger one. There's no point in a 2-finger one.
65 pence.
Sake. I couldn't get a multi-pack of them, so...
60. How did you get one of these for 65 pence?
Well, I think that sounds quite dear.
Do you?
Aye.
No, I'd say that's...
Is it?
Aye, that's good going nowadays.
Right, so the thing is, with a Kit Kat, you feel as if you're getting 4 things.
I'm going to eat one of these.
Because you're getting... Aye. But my fantasy is, as a professional big fat bastard, is I love a chunky Kit Kat as well.
Yep.
And imagine a chunky Kit Kat version of that, 4-finger, 4 of them joined together. Just call the ambulance now.
Aye, your foot would definitely fall off.
Yeah. So there, there's my biscuits.
Not very hard to argue with them. And you've kind of convinced me a bit in the dark chocolate digestives.
Yeah.
I knew it's just going to be us making smacking sounds with our lips.
That's fine. It's all right.
That's fine. So you're bringing a biscuit back up as a trio?
Yeah. It was, I don't know, you know, it was one of these things where it pops into your head because I went, oh, I'll go and get a packet of trios. And then I thought, I haven't seen trios for a long time. So I Googled them in 2005. They went,
Really? Mine,
I don't know who makes these decisions
no,
to destroy something.
just it's a room full of thin folk. No, what I'm talking about.
Aye.
But if we were there, it'd be an oversaturated market.
If we were there, well, if you had been alive in the 80s, right, you'd be, people my age all get teary when you talk about a cabana. A cabana was a chocolate bar that
You're right. You need in a minute.
Janie Godley loves them as well, right? We've talked for hours about cabanas, right? Hours. It was like a really substantial, big, solid bounty, but it had cherries through it. Oh, and it was the best thing ever.
What? So
Anybody my
coconut
age,
and cherries.
Generation X, it was just, and they stopped it, and they've never done one of these Whisper Gold reboot things for
Aye.
it. It's just gone. Somebody's killed it.
But I mean, when they bring things back, they're never as good as.
No, nothing's ever as good as you remember.
No, aye.
Apparently, there's an orange Turkish delight out there now.
Right now, what's your deal with Turkish delights? Are you?
I'm a bit of a pervert for chocolate, so I quite like the Turkish delight.
There are. I think there's like 2 things in the world: jelly babies and Turkish delights are the only 2 things I can't eat.
Really?
I just can't do it.
Oysters, mushrooms.
See, I've never had oysters before, so I don't know about that. But that's the only 2 things that I've ever tried that I don't like. I also, it used to be carrot cake as well, and then I was sneakily given a carrot cake
Well,
once.
see, the
I thought,
carrot
this is
cake, you
brilliant.
think, I'm not eating the carrot cake.
Because
right?
it's carrot cake.
And then you get to a situation where you're desperate for cake and there's only carrot cake and you go, right, I'll pretend it's not carrot cake. And you get it and you go, actually, this is amazing.
Yeah. It's more gingery
It is,
than
yeah.
carrot. Aye.
I don't even think they need to put carrots in it.
No, aye. Well, that would just be an iced ginger cake, would it not?
Yeah, I don't know why they put carrots in it or who thought it up.
Aye, I think it's just that's a pure war kind of ingredient thing, isn't it? It's like,
wartime
we've
carrot,
got
aye.
nothing else here,
Yeah.
so let's just put a carrot in a cake. Aye, it's a bit daft.
Aye.
Now this is between me and my pals. I've got friends who are obsessed with these biscuits, and I think that they attack the roof of your mouth before you even get a chance to swallow them. Gold biscuits.
I think it's too much. It's like diluting juice that's not been diluted.
Aye.
There's too much I can't even call it chocolate, whatever it is. There's too much of that in the ratio to the biscuit bit.
It feels as if when you're eating it, it goes straight up the back and it just hits your nose.
Like ginger beer.
Aye.
Like an ice cream
like
headache.
that. Aye.
I mean, I'm certainly agreeing with you and everything, but if there was a gold biscuit there, it'd be the hood.
Aye. I mean, aye. We
Biscuit's a biscuit, mate.
Biscuit's a biscuit, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Well, that was another thing we were talking about as well, is Oreos.
Nah.
Aye.
Nah.
I mean, we'd eat them, right? But it's almost as if it's like licorice and tarmac put together.
Aye.
There's something no right about it.
I know, but licorice, right? Who thought that was a good idea?
I do like licorice.
Do you?
Aye.
But it's also like mushrooms. I look at a mushroom and I go, who thought?
You like mushrooms?
No, God.
No.
I can't even have... See if they bring a plate and it's got mushrooms by accident on it. I can't even eat anything else that's on the same plate.
You know, I did get why folk don't like mushrooms, because they're a bit kind of slimy looking. And kind
But
of...
it's what they are and where they come from and what they represent.
Aye, I don't really think of it.
I just think they're the food equivalent of death.
Aye. Well...
It's
Aye,
like
technically
it's
is,
like scraping the fungus from between Satan's toes and creaming them.
You're never going to put me off mushrooms. I do like mushrooms, but
I mean, I've
that
tried
was
them,
a good,
but
very poetic way to put it.
It's not even as if I feel not right after for a wee while. Months I'm going about the mushroom.
If you touch a mushroom,
Yeah.
aye, it does have a weird consistency.
If I'm near somebody that's eating mushrooms, I'm uneasy.
Aye. No, I've not had mushrooms recently, so we're all right.
Okay.
But aye, as we were saying then, Jaffa cakes,
Yeah.
biscuits. Do you want a Jaffa cake?
Nah, I'm a bit.
Aye, I'm so mad.
I'm a bit.
We've attacked it.
We have.
Strong.
I know.
I went to the lie down halfway through it.
I can.
And then you've got the tea cakes as well.
Aye, but you know the thing with tea cakes that Barbara Rafferty, who is a legendary Scottish comedy actress, she's got a thing with tea cakes where you smash them before you eat them, and they make the world of difference. Give me one over. Right. So she goes like that, and then you eat it.
So like a flat tea cake?
Yeah, and apparently it makes it taste better.
Right. I know we said we weren't having any more, and
right.
how long did that take?
Just
For us to-
put some
I mean,
weight behind
we
it.
said we're not having any more biscuits, so we're feeling a
know,
bit lightheaded.
we've
And then
fucked it.
how long was that? About 5 seconds, I'd say.
Right.
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 So aye, completely flat.
So eat it like you've got a slice of pizza, right? Right, you ready? Go.
Yeah.
It's like a really, really, really good wagon wheel. Isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's like a smash wagon. You know, you get smash burgers now. Mm-hmm. It's a smash wagon wheel.
I'm feeling a bit lightheaded.
Yep.
With that, but
Yeah. I think we're both about to go into a coma, mate.
aye. Well, all right. We've got. I didn't actually speak to the ambulance services beforehand, so
That's fine.
they're on. Aye, they're outside waiting on us.
Good.
But I don't agree with things like that. Like
Vandalism.
aye, like it's the same as like eating ruined things and like eating ruined Kit Kat chunkies, eating ruined all that stuff. That's just kind of ruined. They were meant to be big. They were meant to be girthy, and then we've just kind of turned it into a wagon wheel.
Well,
But I get where you're coming from. It does make a difference,
it's an
which is weird.
alternative way of eating them.
Like people who bite the chocolate, run about the tea cake, and then lick out all the
Yeah,
Mala.
that's a bit weird. But people do that with Jaffa cakes as well. And that just feels a bit surgical to me. You know,
Aye.
they'll get the orangey bit and then it's a bit oystery. It's like Jaffa
Aye.
cakes are the oysters of the biscuit world. You know, and then you're like, this. I think with a Jaffa cake, it has to be in the context of the biscuit, and it is a
Yeah.
biscuit.
Oh, totally.
Fuck
Aye,
you if you're calling it a cake.
totally. Even though we're technically calling it a cake by calling it a Jaffa cake, but there are like kind of like massive ones as well that you can actually buy for like a birthday cake type thing.
Aye, but see, I tried when I was working in Birmingham a couple of years ago, and I tried a Jaffa cake donut. Have you ever had one of them?
No.
Shite. Because there's not enough of the kind of Jaffa cakeness. There's too much donut with it. So you were like that. It's a donut. With
I remember that there's they things on like Lad Bible and all that kind of stuff where they do snack wars. We'll like, bring in different biscuits and stuff, and they gave the wee boy for Stranger Things a Jaffa cake, and he said it's the best thing he's ever eaten in his life, and that gave me like a...
but see, they're used to American chocolate, which if you've tasted American chocolate, to British people, it tastes like vomit.
Aye, it is weird.
I remember being in New York and going, oh, Hershey's, and eating it and going, I feel as if I'm eating chocolate that somebody's already digested. Back up.
Aye, what is the deal with Hershey's?
I don't know.
It's like eating dust as well on top of chocolate.
It's like that really sharp vomit that comes after you've been sick.
Aye,
and
the
you're
bile.
Still going, ugh.
Hershey's bile cups. Aye, that is very true. There was
Have we talked enough about biscuits now?
I don't. There was something I was going to say about biscuits, and I can't remember what it is.
Man.
Because I think
Because you're at your tits.
we're on a sugar high.
I'm at my tits as well.
Aye, I'm having coffee as well. That coffee did
I
the
never
stairs,
got
by
off
the
of
way. Do you want a coffee?
No, you're fine.
Do you want the rest of my coffee?
No, you're all right. Stick your coffee up your arse.
Aye, you got a ticket last... Well...
I did, right. See, right. I'm a chaotic fuck up, okay? So, you said to me, you want to come on my podcast Wednesday the whatevers, right?
And I never said you'd
The
get a
number
coffee
fell
when you
out
came
of my
in.
head,
I know.
and I just heard Wednesday. So last week, I went and I bought all these biscuits. Right? Same ones. Same ones, same order, right? And then I was here at 2 hours early because I thought it was 1 o'clock, but it wasn't. It was 3 o'clock. So I went down and I realised it was 3, and I thought I'll just do some work because I had my iPad with me. Sitting then about 2 o'clock, I got the phone out to message you to tell you I was here, and I went, oh shite, it's next week. So then I went out to the car and I had a parking ticket because the Ringo app didn't work, and I saw her today when I parked. I saw her; she was watching me, and I was like, do I get out and try and work the machine and try and find money, or do I trust this app thing? But I've screenshotted the session and everything now and made sure.
I was in here on Friday and I got a ticket.
30 quid, mate.
Mm-hmm.
So 30 quid plus all the money I spent on the biscuits last week.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you appreciate me, mate.
Oh, definitely. I mean, but to be fair, you got kind of cut price Kit Kats, so we need to discuss where you get them from. But no, I do appreciate it. It's
all right.
It's but I don't understand it. We're not going to gaff on parking attendants and stuff like that, but them out there are they're vultures. Oh, Millimer Sales the day. Culture vultures. That's how that worked in. So, what do you prefer? I'm so sorry to ask this question, and I feel horrific asking it. Empire biscuits or snowballs?
Right. So, I feel very strongly about this, right? Because I don't know whether Ford and Greg wrote that character with me in mind. Right? Because I'm a diehard snowball fan. Now, it's not the Tunnocks stupid snowballs that are fluffy. It's the big doughy snowballs that Mother's Pride ones, right? Mm-hmm. That's the ones that the still game guy was wanting, right? Mm-hmm. And if you did put one of these snowballs there and an Empire biscuit there, I wouldn't thank you for the Empire biscuit. I'd be having the snowball, right? I think snowballs win hands down. Mm-hmm. Right? So it wasn't a big acting stretch for me to lose the plot about thinking that there was an Empire biscuit in her bag instead of a snowball. Uh-huh. So, but it does get shouted at me every single day of my life.
That's what I was going to ask as well. So it's all the time.
Well, for a wee while it got annoying, but now I'm just like, if somebody doesn't shout it, I think something's up. So how come nobody's fucking offered to wipe my ass for me today? What's going on? But no, in all seriousness, right? How in the name of God can you go out and film a 30-second thing 20 odd years ago, and it's still, how lucky am I to have got to do that? Because it's just become part of everything that happened in Still Game has now become part of the Scottish culture.
Yeah.
So I was swimming in the Blue Lagoon in Iceland in 2005, swimming in the Blue Lagoon on my own because I went to New York on my own, swimming about. This guy came up and went, maybe if you have a jobby, Martin, you're not coming out your ass for you, Martin. Iceland.
Are you ever kind of weirded out by it, or is it always?
I used to be. At first, I was because I'd forgotten about it. Because I think they filmed Still Game Series 2 before Series 1 went out.
All right.
I'm pretty sure they did. or we'd filmed my bit before it went out, so I forgot about it, and I didn't realise how big it was. And then somebody said it to me in HMV one day. They said, "You want an Empire biscuit or a snowball?" And I thought, "Oh, what were you in the film crew?" No, so it was on last night. I went, "What?" And then it was all the time, and then it kind of died off, and then Still Game became huge when they stopped. They stopped making it, and then it became massive on Netflix, on DVD and everything. And then nowadays it's kids that are watching it on Netflix that didn't see it the first time, and it's genuinely sometimes 3-4 times a day, but it doesn't bother me. In fact, I love it.
Aye.
It's great. So, and a big long autistic answer to your question there was fuck Empire biscuits and up the snowballs.
Up the snowballs. So, how did acting start for you? What kind of got you into that? How did that?
It was really strange. I did a bit when I went to music college.
Right.
As a musician, as a mathematician, and I ended up somehow working for the Singing Kettle.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because their daughter Jane's my pal, right? So I ended up working for them, doing some voiceovers and songwriting and stuff. And then I did some performing, because they got massive. They became like the Beatles in the early 90s.
Oh,
so,
I've been at plenty of shows, yeah.
Aye. So did some of these shows, and then through doing that, I got a job at the Bio Theatre St Andrews, because they were. It was one of the theatres that we visited with this show.
Yeah.
And I saw they were doing the Jungle Book, and I went, "Oh, can I audition to be Baloo the Bear?" And I got it.
Aye.
And did that, and through that, I did about 2-3 years of acting then, and then didn't do anything for a while. And then in the late 90s, when Chewing the Fat took off, Karen Dunbar was one of my best mates, and she'd got kind of caught up in it. Oh, right, she'd went in for an audition and got into Chewing the Fat. So they wanted to do Chewing the Fat live, and they were doing it at the Citizens Theatre, and they wanted a panto sing song at the end. You know, the bring down the clute thing that happens.
Yeah, yeah.
So they said, "Does anybody know anybody that plays the piano?" So Karen went, "My pal Tom does." So I came in and ended up, like, they put me in loads of other sketches in the live show, and I was doing like scenery shifting and all this kind of stuff. And then at the end, I came on in a dress and a wig. I was an old lady, so I was like probably the original Isa.
Oh, right, aye.
And playing the pianos. It was His Majesty's Home for the all these songs. And so then, just sort of after that, Chewing the Fat really went through the roof, and we went over and did it at the King's Theatre as well.
Yeah.
So then they just started putting me in the show as well. They just started putting me in Chewing the Fat on the telly. So it was in all these classic sketches like Finty Tin, and the Ronald Villiers stuff, and just the one where he smashes up the restaurant.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you press pause, you can see me killing myself laughing. They couldn't do a retake because they'd smashed it up. And through that, I got involved with Only an Excuse. So I did that for 4 years. Played loads of football people that I've got no idea who they were, but Johnny Watson just would say, "This guy speaks like this." And then I got, I don't know if you're too young to remember, Tutti Frutti, which was a big, huge TV series in the 80s that was written by John Byrne. Robbie Coltrane played the main character, and Emma Thompson was the female character. And the National Theatre of Scotland was launching, and they were launching with 2 shows. One was Black Watch, and one was the stage version of Tutti Frutti. And the part was for a big fat guy that could play piano and sing. And I was going,
written for you.
I can't. So I was desperately trying to get an audition, and they wouldn't see me because I was just a dafty that had done bits and bobs on Chewing the Fat. I hadn't really done any proper acting. And this was the National Theatre of Scotland. It was a big deal. And I just didn't give up. I just kept phoning them. And over about the period of about 2 months, I kept phoning them and saying, how's it going to kill you to just meet me? How's it going to... And I ended up becoming quite a joke with them. You know, It's me again. How are you today? Are you going to give me an audition? No, I don't know. We've already got somebody in mind for the part. I went, well, there's no... So eventually they said, right, come in on Friday at 4:30. Tony, the director's going to be here, and he's agreed to have a coffee with you. So I went in and I took my guitar and I did a quiff and I wore a suit and I got the part. I had to do a few auditions for it, but I got the part. And through doing that, I got a really good London agent, and that's where a lot of other stuff came from. So it all just started from eating a Scotch pie and chewing the fat live. That's how I get. I didn't go to drama school. I ate a pie.
So it's music then's most yours.
Music's my main thing.
Yeah.
Aye.
So in Almost Angelic, were you actually playing the piano?
Yes.
Is that all live music?
No, it wasn't. I recorded it first
Yeah.
because they do about 9-10 takes and it's got to be the same every time. So
Aye.
I would record it, and Karen and I would practice it. I would record it in the house, and then we would mime to playback. But the vocals were live,
Aye.
and a lot of the reactions were live as well, and some of the dialogue was just on the hoof.
Aye.
But that was another thing that at the time was, nobody really. It wasn't massive at the time. Almost Angelic, right? It was okay, but TikTok over lockdown and over the past couple of years, it's gone mental.
Yeah.
Absolutely mental. Because it's just the right length for a TikTok, each of the songs. And it just, kids had never seen it, so they thought it was something we'd just done. Who Let the Dogs Out, all that kind of stuff. It's Getting Hot in Here, Nelly, all that and everything. And they all came back, and I hadn't seen any of them since way back then because none of them were really released in DVD or shown again. And now it's massive, and then we reunited this year and did it again.
Oh.
Yeah, after 20 years we hadn't done it. And we got together and did Yes Sir I Can Boogie for the Euros.
The Euros one, of course. Aye. I mean, my wife, she absolutely loves Almost Angelic. So she's asked for me to make a video or something. So, but no, I they are like phenomenal. They're part of Scottish culture and things like that. Everything.
Aye, and I mean everybody knows an Almost Angelic. They're in every pub.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
exactly.
So they're in every pub. And we had backstories for them because we were thinking about trying to do like a show with just them, and we had backstories for them. They'd nearly had a hit in 1978, and they supported They supported at the Apollo. I think they supported Jerry Rafferty at the Apollo or something, and they had a hit, and then they got dropped by the record company because I'd sworn on kids' TV. We had a song called. I wish I could remember. We wrote a treatment for it. And I think at the time they just went, because there was real problems back then getting song rights. Right, it's much easier now to be able to do a song parody or to be able to do a cover song on the TV. But back then we had to be really careful. You had to get it cleared through all sorts of publishing companies. And 9 times out of 10, the song we wanted to do, we couldn't do. So we did a lot of stuff live on tour that we never, like Shaggy, It Wasn't Me. That was the perfect Almost Angelic song. So banging on the counter, wasn't me. Wasn't me. So there was tons of stuff, and even today, something will come on the radio and I'll go, Almost Angelic would be great at that wet ass pussy. Imagine it. There's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes in this house. So who knows? We might, if we have an idea for something, we might do more, but we're not doing any more at the moment. But it was nice to get back together and do that with Callum again.
Yeah, I can imagine it was. But you're part of one of my favourite scenes in recent cinema history. Trainspotting 2.
Oh my God.
How was that?
It was just one of these things that you go, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm doing it. And it had been auditions, there was me and 3 other actors all got in the same car and drove up to the audition.
Oh, really?
And we had to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure, because before it had been announced they were making it and stuff.
Oh, really?
And they paid us £1. And because the money had changed hands, we were contracted to not. So I couldn't tell anybody. I didn't tell us all. And then that was just to audition. So then I got the call that I'd got the part. And I went, okay. And I got the script and it was like 2 or 3 lines. And I went, well, it's 2 or 3 lines, but it's 2 or 3 lines of Trainspotting 2. And it's with Ewan McGregor and Johnny Lee Miller. Oh my God. So it was filmed in the Orb in Bells Hill.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about religion. I don't know about Rangers and Celtic, Catholics and Protestants. I don't know anything about it. I've got nothing against MD. I'm not into it. I don't understand it. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. there was a lot of extras there that were from lodges and from and oh, big man, didn't know you were one of us. I'm like, I'm just an actor. I don't know what you're talking about. But what they did was they gave me these tattoos. So I had 1690 in my neck.
And
right?
the
And I had the
crown
red
as well.
hand of Ulster there and something else. And it was filmed over 4 days, and I developed a chest infection, and I had to go to the doctors. And I went down to the doctors and forgot I had the tattoos on. I was sitting in the doctor's waiting room, 1690. What a laugh. But I tell you, honestly, I've never had more fun in my life than that. It was boiling hot. We had air conditioners in and everything. Danny Boyle was brilliant. And I got to spend a lot of time with Ewan McGregor and Johnny Lee Miller. And you're just going, how did I end up doing this?
Yeah.
How did this happen? And then what had happened was he had filmed an hour too much. So he'd filmed tons of stories and stuff that was going to get cut. So nobody knew if your bit was going to still be in. So I didn't know if that scene was going to be in the movie.
Right.
Until we went to the premiere. And I went to the premiere with 2 other actors that were in it, and none of us knew if we were going to be in it. And we were all just sitting watching it, and the 3 of us made the cut. And then when that scene came on, I was going, this is either going to get me murdered or folk will like it. And it just, that bit where the whole pub erupts, the cinema erupted, and I just went, oh. And then when I get out, the big, because I wasn't allowed at the posh premiere in Edinburgh, we were at the Glasgow one, and my phone started going with the journalists going, what? Why didn't you say you were in this? I'm like, I wasn't allowed to. I didn't even know if I was in it. But that, hysterical. And sometimes when I'm doing gigs, somebody will come up and ask for the song. I'm like, well, A, I can't remember it, and B, I can't. And do you know that song was written by the guy from Underworld that wrote Born Slippy?
Really?
Aye.
No More Catholics? Really?
Guy from Underworld, because he wrote all the music for the incidental music.
Aye.
So, dive boy, dirty burn angel boy. He wrote that song.
That is... Do you know what you're listed as in
Big
IMDb?
Bear.
Big Bear.
That was the name in the script before I got the part. Aye. That's before I got the part.
I mean, I'm sure... I mean, if I'd read a part that said Big Bear, I would have thought it was a different film altogether, but...
No, Big Bear.
Go, Big
But
Bear.
so I'm like, that's fine. I've always been a bear.
So obviously, I do a bit of kind of stand up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is that something you've ever done, or no?
I do a lot of hosting and stuff, but I couldn't do stand up. I'm not. It's just not anything that I don't think I'd be good at it, and I've never had the desire. I've got a lot of pals that are successful stand ups, and I love the fact that they'll phone and try their material out on me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Right.
I love being around the world of stand up and everything, but I think I'd be too much of a shite bag. I'd be too frightened I'd die in my hole.
Well, Camden Bar's doing a few kind of like an
She's a
audience,
great stand-up,
with
though.
and things like that.
She's a great stand up.
Would you ever do an audience with or anything like that? Do you think you're...
No, I'm better with. I play piano and sing, so I do a lot of these gigs where I've got the piano, and I take requests.
Yeah.
So part of my autism diagnosis was the music, because I was able to play piano when I was 3. I was able to sit down at a piano and just play it.
Wow.
So I've never known what I'm doing. I just feel it. So I do these gigs where people shout out songs and I play them, and I don't know how I'm doing it. And it's a bit of a freak show.
Yeah.
But and there's a lot of hee-heeing and ho-hoing and that, so it's sort of comedy. But
Yeah.
I would never say I'm going to make you laugh. You know, you've paid to get in here and I'm going to make you laugh. I couldn't do that.
Yeah. So you were saying, like, when did you get an autism diagnosis?
It was 2 and a bit years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it came from a bit of a mental health crisis I had during lockdown.
Yeah.
And I was on a waiting list for therapy for a long, long time, and eventually got to therapy remotely during lockdown. And it was this quite intensive therapy called psychodynamic therapy, which was really effective, really, really good. And at the end of it, with just me and the therapist just figured out, I think I'm autistic, or there's something going on.
Yeah.
So I went to see my GP and I got referred, and it was going to be something like a 7-year waiting list at the time. So I went private, and it was over about 2.5 months of sessions and games and interviews, and then a doctor from Ireland and everything came over, and full on autistic since I was a child.
Aye.
And but in the 70s, you know, they wouldn't let you. You know, you would say, no, you're no.
Aye. Aye.
So I did the whole kind of like masking thing, which is pretending I'm just the same as everybody else, but internally feeling like an alien species.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a relief to get diagnosed with it, but it explained everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't just come in here and talk about biscuits. I've got to bring you in my top 5.
No,
And they've got to be in a specific order. But they did say to me that there is a name for the thing where I can play any song on the piano and sing and remember all the words. I can't remember what it's called. But it is it's part of the whole spectrum thing. So
Well, Elton John had that.
is he?
Aye. Well, if Rocket Man is real, he done that as well. He just kind of sat down and
Aye,
played.
well, my granny had a piano, and all the other cousins would be like bam, 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 and my grandpa would go wait, wait, wait. And then I would sit down and start playing Spanish Eyes.
Right.
Or something. It was just strange. I just always knew how to do it. And then if somebody says to me, "Can you show me how to play the piano?" I go,
No,
because I don't know.
I don't know how to play the piano. I just play it.
I can work it out if you need me to tell you what the chords are, but I don't think about it. It just happens, and there's a lot of people like that. People like that, and a lot of other people on the that are neurodivergent or on the autistic spectrum. They'll know loads of facts and figures, or they'll be immediate at maths.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can do big sums and all that kind of stuff. I can play an ABBA B-side from 1977. That's my contribution to the world.
So was it mostly kind of like bands and things like that when you were growing up? Were you in bands and things?
And Paisley. I was in bands when I was a teenager, and then I did really badly at school. And in retrospect, it was autism because I couldn't, or ADHD. I couldn't concentrate. I just couldn't take anything in, but I could hyper concentrate on music and English, which were the two things that I was interested in.
Yeah.
And when it came to leaving school, my brother and sister had been really high academic achievers. My brother was a headmaster and my sister was a school teacher as well. And I just nobody was entirely sure what to do with me. And I was kind of playing in bands and DJing in Paisley and stuff. And my parents were like, what are you going to do with your life? And I'm like, don't know. So I got called in for a restart interview at the Dole.
Right.
I think I was 18. And you know how sometimes you get Mrs. Nice, sometimes you get Mr. Bastard. And this day I got a really good guy, and he said, "What is it you want to be?" And I said, "I don't know." And he says, "Well, what do you like to do?" And I said, "I like playing music." And he went, "That's funny. We just got a leaflet in this morning for a thing that's happening in Perth called the Rock Music College." And he brought it out and he gave me the leaflet, and I read it, and it was like Fame, the TV show Fame that I was obsessed with as a kid. And it was like you could go in and play piano and be in a band, and it's college. You get a HND after it. So I went and auditioned for that and got it. And when I got there, it was like a duck to water, and I thrived.
Yeah.
And I did great. I got great results. And then when I left that, I had learned so much, not so much from the lecturers, but from all the other people I was working with. Because you just played music every day. The exams were in the pub because you did a gig.
Yeah.
And it was like I'd found exactly what I was meant to be doing. And it was like I found myself, and I still get emotional thinking about that 2 years in Perth with these amazing people just playing in bands and stuff. So that and I had never really sang before I went there as well. I had sort of sung, but I had a really inspirational teacher called Pam that just got it out of me. And then I ended up being the lead singer in the bands, and then doing a lot in the 90s. I did a lot of vocal session work after I left college as well. There was a TikTok got released recently, and I'd forgotten about it. And there was a big hit about, it must be 20 years ago now, called "In My Arms" by Milo.
Yeah.
That's me. It's me singing it.
Is it?
Because, right, I had, what was it? I'd been doing jingles for Radio Clyde. Right? Howard Bedding and all that kind of stuff. And one of them's still on the telly just now, Optical Express. And they just went and said, there's this wee guy is making an album on his laptop in Skye, Stornoway or something.
Aye.
And they're needing to recreate a sample from the 80s because they can't get the rights to it. Can you go in and do the singing? So me and my pal Marge went in, and we spent about an hour going, "That's where you belong, in my arms, baby, yeah." And they took the "in my arms, baby, yeah" bit and looped it, and it became the song, and it became a big giant hit. And I forgot about it because I thought it was just for some wee guy in with a laptop. And it was HMV again. It was an HMV and it was on. And I was going, I remember doing, what's that? And I went up and I said, what's that song that's on? And I was number 4.
Aye, it was massive.
Aye. So then they kind of made, the producer made a TikTok about it recently, and it was like, you're never going to guess who the singer is in this. And they put the Snowballs and Empire Biscuit clip up. And that's the guy that's singing that really cool dance song.
Wow.
So I got loads of stuff like that. I did a lot of singing, a lot of session singing back then. I think I was the voice of a couple of boy bands as well. For people that couldn't sing.
Oh, really?
Aye. One of my mates, I've got a mate, Chris Judge, right? And I can't tell you the band, but there's a very, very successful band from the 2000s, and it's him doing the singing.
Can you tell me off?
I'll tell you.
No, you won't tell me off here. It's
No, I
just
won't
no,
tell you
exactly. Of course not. No, that's
No, I
aye.
can't tell you.
No, aye, that's fine. Aye.
Aye.
And so, did singing come naturally, like the piano, or was that needing to be?
Well, I was always a bit embarrassed about it. I was always a bit kind of, I don't know, I felt cringy about singing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got to Perth that it was a really inspirational guy on the course called Kenny Gray that I made friends with, and he got me singing with him. And he's no longer with us, but he was a brilliant, brilliant guy. And it was him that really, and Pam, the singing teacher, it was just people I met that went, no, you should. And I started, and I got a little 4-track recording studio and started recording stuff. And then realised that I felt really comfortable on a stage with a mic. And as an autistic man, I didn't know this was autism back then, but I find it really difficult to be in a big social situation. I mean, pals of mine will tell you that if I'm invited to a thing, I'm there for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But on stage with a mic, completely comfortable, especially if there's a piano in front of me.
Yeah.
I can sit there for 5 hours and be fine. The rest of my life is tricky, and there's a lot of masking involved, and there's a lot of getting through and coping strategies. On stage with a mic, with a piano, for some reason, I feel in complete control and I'm all right.
Yeah.
So that's where the singing came from. So the singing just seems to kind of happen with the piano playing. It's odd. It's kind of weird.
Is it more like kind of cover songs and things like that?
Yeah, but I've written stuff as well.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. So do you think that's what it is then? Maybe more comfortable with songs that people know and things, and you're kind of.
I think it's a way of me connecting with somebody without having to try and talk. Because 9 times out of 10, I'll make an inappropriate joke, or I won't understand the joke they've made, and I'll offend them, or I'll get upset by them, you know. But with a song, it's just a we're all the same.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. And DJing as well. So is that something you're?
Aye.
So if you're wanting to get people, the dance floor's empty and you're wanting people to get up, what's your go-to?
Dancing Queen.
And I knew it was going to be that.
Of course it is.
Aye.
I mean, you could be playing. The hardest hardcore DJ in the world could be doing a set. Dance Queen would fit.
Aye.
And it gets everybody, you know, just, the dance floor's quite quiet. Dancing Queen. But a DJ in Vienna's and Paisley every Friday night. And it's in the downstairs bit that's all 80s, 90s, noughties.
Oh, brilliant.
So it's just great. It's a real, I find it quite relaxing. Except when I've got folk going, go and play Taylor Swift. Go and play Taylor Swift. How you know playing? Call yourself a DJ. Play some decent. All that, and I'm like, no, I do that. I've been doing that for years, and it's always been a thing, you know.
I've got a daughter in the house who's just turned 7, and she'd be in one of the Taylor Swift mobs. So
I mean, Taylor Swift's fine. I'm in that. If you ask anybody that's my age if they like Taylor Swift or Ed Sheeran, we'll go,
aye.
I don't really get it, but that's brilliant that you like it.
Aye, I've been kind of exposure therapy to Taylor Swift, so now I love her.
I mean, I know half the songs because I DJ.
Well, of course, aye. So, how did DJing come about then? Was it just...
It was Paisley back in the band day.
Right.
Back in the band days in the 80s. I used to do a night, 1987, I was still at school.
Right.
I was DJing 3 nights a week and telling my parents I was studying at my pal's house. Because back then it was like think it was like a 1:30 license or a 1 o'clock license for clubs in Paisley anyway. And I was an indie DJ, so it was all 80s indie music. And we used to have live bands. So with all the kind of big indie bands, the Bells Hill people, so we had the Soup Dragons, we had the Proclaimers one week, we had... God, who was that? Oh, anybody was a big indie band in the 80s. We had at this club on a Friday night in a Paisley pub called Stringfellows. And it was nothing like Stringfellows in London, but I think the copyright didn't exist in Scotland, so you could have a chippy called Stringfellows. And it was rough as fuck, but it was great. It was great. And then I kind of left that behind when I went to college.
It's amazing how many bands actually came from Bells Hill as well.
The Hat and Ricketel, there was a huge deal there with the BMX Bandits and everything.
Is it obvious that this is only my third time ever hosting a podcast? Like I had two guys in before who are now going to be episode 2 and 3, but we had to start big, so you're number one. Well,
where were you going with the jobby stuff? You're going full circle back to the jobbies.
I don't know what's happened there. Now I feel like now I'm more nervous. I'm like, you need to tell me if I'm good or no. I think you're great. But this was.
I mean, I've never seen you doing comedy, but the reason why I said I'll do it is because Darren was raving about you.
Aye,
because you did a spot at Darren's night at Blackfriars every Wednesday night, folks. Mm-hmm. And Darren said you stormed it, and then you were saying, does anybody want to come on a podcast? I went, that's that guy Darren said was good. Aye, all right. I've not been on a podcast for ages.
Aye, well, it's thank you for that, Dan, because it has kind of opened a lot of doors and stuff like that. So I've been trying to kind of get kind of on kind of bigger gigs and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's what Darren's night's about on a Wednesday, is he gets people in that haven't done a lot of stuff, and it's a really busy night, and it's all real comedy fans, so it's people that will remember you and come and see you again. Who
I was on with, it was Mark Jennings opened it.
Aye.
And then Bride O'Hingway.
He's one of my best mates.
Absolutely phenomenal.
He's one of my best
Brian
mates.
O'Sullivan, I think is his name. He's now doing I run a show in Newt Hill, and he's coming to headline that at the end of the month. And
is he doing it as Janice?
Yeah. When he was on, I was sliding down my seat I was because in the way that everybody's got like the almost angelic. It is.
It's your
everybody's got your
and
auntie.
Everybody's got that doctor's receptionist. I think it's quite a nice doctor's receptionist. There's a lot of them.
Aye, we've all had one. And then who else was on was Silas, who's a good pal.
Silas and I met in an audition years ago for a TV series called Guilt. And I was in that. I played the son of I don't want to spoil it for anybody, the woman that was murdering folk. And Silas was auditioning the same day, and I knew him because he was a waiter in Wagamama.
Yeah.
I'm never out of Wagamama. And I was like, you're a waiter in Wagamama. He went, you're that guy's never out of Wagamama. So we both got the parts. So Silas and I have been pals ever since as well. He's great. He's a guy.
He's brilliant. I was doing the Fringe yesterday, and he was flying, and it's like I flyered for about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like this is like bombing like every 30 seconds. Like try to give somebody a flyer.
I can't go to Edinburgh during the festival. It's too I'm too autistic for it.
Aye, no, definitely. I mean, I don't know if I've got anything, but yeah, it's for anybody. It is
because you can't, be walking down the street and then suddenly Shakespeare will appear. There'll be drama students doing Macbeth in front of you. Just try and get a sausage roll.
Suddenly Shakespeare, I think, were an 80s band as well.
No, but Suddenly Shakespeare's a thing.
Is it?
Because Ashley and Jenny told me about it, and it's they it's almost as if they jump out of close and ambush you and do some Suddenly Shakespeare in front of you. I'd punch them.
Yeah,
I would.
I mean, it's enough to be kind of put through it in school and things
voluntarily.
Like that.
Yeah, I know. But no, to jump out and suddenly, I think I would rather they kick my cunt in.
Yeah.
Than perform Shakespeare in front of me. That's more of an assault. It's a hate crime.
Yeah, it is totally. Because I mean, first of all, I don't have a clue what you're saying to me as well.
Aye, like, I think people just pretend.
Aye, totally. Aye, and then or when you used to in our English classes, you used to give out the parts, and I was always giving I was Titania in Midsummer's Night Dream, who was the fairy witch or something like that. They always kind of gave me like the girly parts and things because they knew I would kind of go for it. And then you'd say something, and it's like, I've not got a clue what that means. And the English teacher would laugh. It's like, you've not got a clue. if this is a joke or no.
Brian O'Sullivan that you were talking about, the
Yes.
Bridal thing, mate, he does a lot of Shakespearean acting. He's a proper actor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, aye. He's in the Hamlet that's on in London with David Tennant and all them. He does that. That's what he's doing this Christmas. And, he does genuinely love Shakespeare, but I'm always... the thing that makes me so uneasy about Shakespeare is they'll not just leave it alone. They'll not just do the play. They have to go with an angle on it, right? So I once went to see Romeo and Juliet and they were all in combat gear with rifles. I was like, I don't know whether it's my autism, but they didn't have rifles back then, right? But also, so I'm always like that. So what is it, Hamlet or is it Pogo Stick Hamlet? Is it Bouncy Castle Macbeth?
But then you did that Baz Luhrmann film as well,
Oh,
the Romeo and Juliet.
No, I can't watch it. Why are they in sports cars? And why do they get guns? And why is it the 80s? And why are they talking like that? Mm-hmm. Doesn't work.
No, I totally agree with you. Because I hadn't saw Moulin Rouge before. And then
I hated it.
I watched it with my wife and I'm like, what is this?
Why are they singing Like a Virgin in 1908?
Aye. It doesn't, something's not right there
Can't
at all.
do it.
We've agreed on quite a lot of stuff, like Jaffa Cakes, bean biscuits, and
I know. If you
gold
get the other
biscuits.
half of this locket. That's a Norm from Cheers line.
Yeah. I love Cheers as well.
Oh, so do I. Obsessed
Aye.
with it. Tam Cowan's obsessed with Cheers as well.
Oh, really?
We're always texting each other about it. Aye.
Well, we'll see if we can get Tam on to talk
Tam
about
would
Cheers.
come on and talk about Cheers.
Don't-
Want me to ask him for you?
If you could.
Okay.
I'm a big Motherwell fan as well.
All right, but you'd
So-
be fine. And I'll leave him these biscuits.
Aye. You're taking the biscuits. We all know you're taking the
They're
biscuits.
fucking coming.
You need to put them back in the bag in the same order, will you?
Aye, and the custard creams are getting mashed even more and they're just getting fucking injected.
But honestly, thank you so much for doing this.
No bother.
Thank
Thanks
you
for having me. And good luck with your podcast. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, thank you. So that was episode 1 of Culture Vultures. Do you have anything to plug or anything like that?
Well, if you're bored on a Sunday and you're out for a run in the car and you happen past the oak tree in Balmaha, I'm in the beer garden playing piano and singing every Sunday afternoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And if you're in Dundee on a Saturday night, I'm the host in a place called Duck Slattery's, which is Massey Oakey, which is me on a stage, age 55, jumping about to the Venga Boys.
Lovely. A lot of folk seem to go after Dundee quite a lot.
Dundee's great.
I know, I do. I like it.
Oh, well, Darren Connell and I did Panto in Dundee. I'm talking about Darren as if he's no sitting
No,
over
right there, aye.
Uh-huh.
Just
Darren and I did Panto for 3 years together in Dundee and fell in love with it. I think we should get Darren on to talk about it. You come over, Darren, come on. Aye, come on. Right, okay. Do you want to introduce Darren?
well, everybody, put your hands together. Well, we need to give him a clap then, eh?
Aye.
For Dan Connell. Woo!
The podcast is ending.
Wrapping up.
Get me on right at the end.
Aye. You can be like a wee special guest appearance.
I love how yous were talking about biscuits like yous were for fucking NASA.
Deconstructing biscuits, putting them back together again. That's what this was all about.
No,
Panto.
Darren and I did Panto for 3 years together in Dundee, right? And I genuinely, I wouldn't have said, oh, Darren Connell does Panto, right? But he's a wizard at it. See the year we were the Ugly Sisters. It was the funniest thing. We looked like Joan Crawford and Betty Davis. Right? And every day he went off on a tangent and people in the audience actually having to phone an ambulance because they were laughing that hard. It was so funny. And because I'm not mad about pantos and all that, but I was just going, waking up everywhere. I wonder what Dan's going to do today.
Aye. So did they let you just freestyle when you went on as an Ugly Sister?
They let us have fun and
Aye,
we were
good.
good working together.
Aye.
And it was some laugh. Tom gave me the panto bug. And he was the reason why I got panto as well. I remember we were going out for lunch one day and Tom was like, is it all right if I go and talk to the producer of a panto because he wants to give me the part? And I was like, aye, no worries. And I was standing outside having a coffee. And I think Tom told the guy, he's like, Darren Connell's out there. You want to talk to him? That was it. Never would have got a panto if you never done that. And it was some laugh.
Aye.
It was a great laugh, man. Honestly.
What a riot.
Because I was kind of shite myself. I was like, because my humour's so dark and I
Yeah.
swear quite a lot
But
as well. Like,
It worked. What I used to do, because we're pretty much always on stage. The first year you did it with Karen Barkey. The second year it was me and you as the
Yeah.
Ugly Sisters. And then the third year we ended up most of the time on the stage together as well.
yeah,
And I used to do this thing where we'd be doing the script as it is, because you've got to stick to the script because there's lighting cues and sound cues and everything. But it would get to a point where I would go in my head, just give Darren 7 minutes.
Just give him the time to go.
And it would just go, just start. I remember Ghostbusters, we had to do Ghostbusters.
oh, that was
3D
great.
ghosts behind us.
The only thing that stopped that was COVID.
That's right.
Such a shame that just stopped because
Because
of
we
that.
were going to do Aladdin, weren't we?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was good fun.
I know. But no, Darren would go off for like an extended improvisation, and I would just kind of stand there and go, right, brilliant, right, just do it. And I'd stand looking as if I was an annoyed actor. What's he doing?
Aye.
Sometimes he would end up in the audience sitting on a dad's knee going, I hate panto. How am I in a panto? I'm a stand-up comedian. How am I in a panto? And I'm sharing digs with him and he's minging. Never does the dishes. Can I come and live in your shed, mate?
I used to put extra lipstick on, and I used to walk through the audience and kiss all the bald dads right in the head, right there in the head.
Oh, so I got a hernia one
Aye.
year just because he was making me laugh so much.
I can imagine. Well, that was a wee cameo there.
Yeah, man, that was nice. You can pay me in biscuits.
Aye. Well, there's plenty.
What biscuit would you choose
Aye.
out of that, Dan, to talk about biscuits? Do you agree with my choice?
I can see where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I would pick that one. But the Tunnocks tea cake are amazing. I mean, obviously, I'm a fat bastard. I'd eat the fucking table. Never mind. Like, I'd eat the carpet, man. Like, you're never going to put any biscuit in front of me, and I'm going to be like, nah.
Aye.
Even if it was shite, I would still eat it.
Pink wafer.
Oh man, remember them?
Aye.
I've not seen them about in 15 years or something.
I've got Wayne, so they're in my house.
Oh really?
A party ring.
I thought they get took off the shelf like Erin Brockovich style. No.
Right.
Has your Wayne's get 11 fingers because of the pink wafers?
We do go a bit mental after them, but well, thank you very much for coming in. This has been Biscuits.
Biscuits.
I
just think it's important with what's going on in the world that we bring it back to the biscuit.
Bring it back to the biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Al Thomson. Eat biscuits. Thank you.